Hey everybody, welcome back to Pick Six. I'm your regular host, Richard Sadie, back for this week. Let's meet the panel.
What's up? I'm Alex.
Marcus.
I'm Reed. Been off for a couple weeks, ready to get back on the train.
Alright then, Reed, let's get right back on it. Let's start off with Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Surprising battle for first place in the NFC South. Tampa Bay, surprising 5-2 despite a sort of weak schedule. Would you say, Alex?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta in this matchup. Tampa Bay hasn't yet convinced me that they are a top team in the league, or even a top 2-tier team in the league. Atlanta tends to play up and down in competition, but they have the talent to win, so the Falcons.
Also, I'm going to go with Atlanta in this game because they have a pretty good offense this year, and Tampa Bay really hasn't won any good games yet. They played Pittsburgh and New Orleans, but they lost both of them. Haven't beaten any really good opponents, even though they're 5-2. But yeah, I'm just going to go with Atlanta on this one.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, despite being 5-2, really aren't contenders. Despite what their coach says as being the best team in the NFC, they're not. And I think Atlanta will prove that today, this week.
Alright then, we're all in agreement. So let's talk about the Dolphins traveling to Baltimore. The Dolphins are actually a much better road team, so do you think this gives them a shot this week?
You know, Rishi, I do. I always trusted Tony Sparano coach team, even though he's only coached the Dolphins. And Baltimore has underachieved in my mind. It's just the way I see them playing. It's not with the same intensity that they used to, especially on defense. I'm going to go Miami close.
Okay, Miami, Baltimore, it's a pretty good matchup. Two pretty good defensive teams. Miami hasn't beat any of their AFC East rivals except for Buffalo, who is possibly one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Baltimore has managed to pull out wins against Pittsburgh and earlier in the season against the Jets by 1. However, the Ravens are coming off of a bad week. They barely beat Buffalo. In fact, they had to go to overtime. So, also with the Dolphins' undefeated road record, I think that they're going to go into Baltimore and beat the Ravens.
Yeah, in this game I like Baltimore. I think they're just slightly better in pretty much every facet of the game. Miami up to this point has lost to the Jets, the Steelers, and the Patriots, who are the upper echelon teams in the AFC. I think Baltimore also falls into that category as the top 4 teams in the AFC, and I think Miami comes up short in the game.
Alright, so a couple of you guys going with Miami there, with kind of an upset. A lot of people have Baltimore as right behind New England there for the top team in the league. But let's talk about two teams who are kind of in an important matchup this weekend, San Diego and Houston. Houston came up to loss to Indy last week. They need to keep pace in the division, and San Diego is already in 3rd place, but this is the second half when they traditionally begin their run. So who do you see starting the second half on a strong note this week?
You know, I'm going to go with the Chargers for that same reason, just the fact that I see them coming back. They have the talent to do it. They shouldn't lose to Houston, even in Houston. I see San Diego starting off the second half on the right foot and beating Houston badly in a blowout.
San Diego is starting to turn things around. They have like one of the top-rated defense right now in the NFL. Number 1 passing, number 1 rushing, or number 2 rushing, I mean. Yeah, I think they're going to beat Houston because Houston's not the team I thought they were going to be this year. They lost to Indy. They lost to Dallas, who is just awful right now. And they haven't really put out any impressive wins, so I'll take San Diego in this one.
Yeah, as the guys said, San Diego's a good second half team, but up to this point, they haven't shown me anything, really. They've been inconsistent almost. It's really on a week-to-week basis. You don't know what you're going to get. I think Houston, coming off the close loss to Indy last week, is going to be angry, and I look for them to take this one in a shootout.
Yeah, San Diego's a weird case. I think they're like near the top or leading the league in like offensive yards and defensive yards, and yet they're 2 games under 500 at this point. So this is a point in the season where either they're going to turn it around or just completely fall apart. All right, let's talk about a matchup that we usually wouldn't be talking about. Kind of surprising. It's been probably like a few decades since both Kansas City and Oakland were both this irrelevant. But this is for first place in the AFC West. Who do you guys think is going to take charge this week?
You know, I got to go with Kansas City here. Oakland's looked impressive the last few weeks against not so great competition. Kansas City has played everyone tough, and they've been real surprising this season. I love the way Charlie Weiss is coordinating this offense. Matt Castle's just being very efficient. You've got Jamal Charles, Dexter McCluster just running the ball. Everyone's running the ball out of the Kansas City offense very well. I see them beating Oakland, even though it's probably going to be a little close.
No one would have expected these two teams to be on the top of the AFC West this season. They were awful last year, terrible the year before, and this year they finally managed to turn things around. Kansas City's playing a pretty good game right now, and Oakland, not so much, but they're still getting the job done when it counts. I remember 2 weeks ago they just, for I don't know whatever reason, just went into Denver and just blew them out by like 40 points. Pretty odd. I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that the Raiders will be able to beat the Chiefs this week, even though the Chiefs are a pretty good team.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. The thing about Kansas City is their defense has been playing pretty well. Every game, it's been close. They keep it within range, and they're 5-2 up to this point. So they clearly know how to win close games. From Oakland, you don't know what you're getting. You can get the 59 points one week, and you can get 13 points the next week. And I just like the consistency of KC in this one to take it out on the road.
All right, let's talk about the big matchup of the week. The Colts traveling to the Eagles. I believe Michael Vick is backing the quarterback. But either way, very intriguing matchup. Colts coming off another victory over the Texans to, I think, reclaim first place in the division. The Eagles are trailing the Giants, so it's definitely a big week for both teams. Who do you guys got?
You know, I really like the Eagles in this matchup. The fact that you've got Vick and McCoy, as well as a lot of those speedy wide receivers. I think Deshaun Jackson's probably going to come back this week. It's just a much more dynamic offense with Vick in there, especially with the Colts defense who can't stop the rush. You saw what Arian Foster did to them week 1 and what running backs have been doing to them all season. So I go Philly in a close game.
Well, in this game, I'll pick Philly, mainly because I'm from Philadelphia, born and raised. Not West Philadelphia, though. But, yeah, the Eagles, with Michael Vick coming back this week, I think they will, turn up their offense on the Colts. With Peyton Manning, the Colts will also have a really good offense, so I'll take the Eagles in a shootout.
Indy's offense up to this point in the season has been plagued by injuries. I think they're on their 4th running back now. You get the starting tight end, Dallas Clark, out. I think finally Peyton Manning's juice runs out. He's been holding this team together by the scraps, and as they said, Vick is coming back. I think he offers that new dynamic, and I think Philly takes this one.
All right, so everyone's on the Philly bandwagon for this week. We don't even have Marshall on the show, surprising. But I was going to talk about the Monday night game here, but I believe that Alex wants to make a bet with the Reed. Maybe?
Sure. Why not?
All right, well, let's get Alex here. He's got something to say.
Reed, I think the Bills are going to beat the Bears today. Your Bears. The Bears.
Not today, but this weekend. But there's no chance. I mean, the Bills are maybe the worst team in the NFL. The Bears have not looked good the last couple of weeks, but I don't know.
The Bills
if you want to make a bet, we can make a bet.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's getting cut.
All right, that was useless. All right, so Alex will now go on a limb here, but let's talk about the Monday night game instead. The Steelers just got beat by the Saints, so they're probably looking to get back on track. They're traveling to Cincinnati, who's I don't know, is anyone going to take Cincinnati this week? They are going to be at home and find for pride in their season on Monday night. Do you think they have any shot?
My prediction involves the Steelers beating the Bengals by at least 4 touchdowns. I don't think this game is going to be anywhere near close. The Bengals have been awful this season. Their defense has been atrocious. Carson Palmer can't seem to find one of his terrible diva wide receivers. And I just see the Steelers lighting them up.
Well, Alex, I kind of agree with you here. The Bengals are just awful. They're just terrible this season. And I also see the Steelers in all the games that they have won so far, even without their quarterback Roethlisberger. It shows that they have a really good team. So I see them just destroying the Bengals, even though it's going to be on the road.
I disagree with you guys. I'm taking Pittsburgh in this one, but I do think this is a game that Cincinnati could come in and steal. T.O. is actually having one of his best starts to the season that he's ever had. He's had a 200-yard game and several other 100-yard games. Carson Palmer has been able to find him, but Ochocinco has kind of been non-existent. It's at home. This is a rivalry game. They don't like each other. They play each other a bunch. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Pittsburgh is just a little bit too much, and they win this one.
All right, everyone agreeing on the Steelers there. The Reed has them close. You gotta remember, Roethlisberger is starting QB. He's only lost once in Ohio, and that was that awful loss to the Browns last year. But anyway, that's all for this week's games. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to follow PSN on YouTube and Facebook. For everybody here, I'm Rishi Sadie. Thanks for watching.